thought I'd start with something, I suppose, a bit bluesy and perhaps what you wouldn't expect to play on this this upright piano, the A138 by Steingraeber, because I wanted to demonstrate, as with all the pianos, what the piano can do and what it kind of challenges me as a pianist to do. To demonstrate also for its size, again, this is something which has an incredible bass. It allows you to work in bass frequencies as well as middle and upper range, but it's something that you wouldn't expect normally from a piano, an upright piano, but this has such an incredible kind of dynamic range that I thought there probably isn't a better way to show it than using octaves, thirds, and tenths. You can just really, it's absolutely voluminous, and it's just really, really good fun to play. Obviously there's a kind of a physical side to this. You need a lot of energy to be able to move the notes and the keys in this direction. But this is one of the wonderful challenges of a piano like this, and something that I find interesting, is that it is very, very close to a grand piano. And I think this has often been said, but I would only say to you just have to come here and test it and see that this is true. It achieves something, it's very easy to say it's akin to a grand piano sound. The volume, the dynamics, the range, the textures that are available to it, and also Steingraeber will allow a sostenuto pedal to be built into it, which also kind of increases or establishes again its closeness to a grand piano. But that's not enough for me as a performer to say, well, okay, it sounds like a grand piano, but can I play it like one? It doesn't matter what the description says, and of course I can, because the keyboard, the action is weighted in such a way that you feel like you're moving notes or playing textures as you would on a grand piano. Explore an enormous palette of sounds, and it's fun to play. Obviously it's great fun as a pianist to be able to throw these sounds around the piano and just crash around, and it is a joy. I mean, music has to give pleasure if nothing else, but the fact that this instrument is very detailed allows you to kind of go into aspects of reflection about music as well. I like to demonstrate that with a movement of one of the pieces that I've played in another video. This one is actually kind of, this demands from the piano a certain brightness and a certain clarity of tone, which not every piano has, certainly not something that I would expect from an upright piano. And I can't stress this enough, this is something that the A138 has really, really managed to achieve. And also as a composer, I'm listening critically to the quality of the sound I'm getting back. Is the piano producing what I expect also as a pianist from the notes that I've written? If it isn't, then I kind of have an issue with it, but this is, and it allows me to articulate things that are written very clearly in the music, and to hopefully articulate them to listeners as well. think it's pretty clear to hear in a few places, especially here. This resonance for me is absolutely critical because the piece, this particular movement, is about listening, it's about being alert, and this gives me a clarity, a kind of illumination that I need from the music. And again, this is not something you normally find on an upright piano. Sometimes the tone is very thin, very limited, but here I can actually express what I want with detail, and this is also an important point when you're playing this type of music, any type of music that you want to perform. If you can't hear the detail, then for me, one is not making music. And this is especially the case in the bass register. It's absolutely, it's there. It's there when you need it. You don't always have to play it like that. It's as subtle as you want it to be, but it's also as powerful as you need it to be. And that's very impressive for a piano of this size. Perhaps I can demonstrate that with another couple of movements from this work, which pianistically are quite challenging, but also in terms of the piano, they do challenge the notion of what a piano can give, because I'm working very explicitly with resonances, the idea of mixing sounds, mixing chords to create chord colours, which again is something you cannot always do, if ever, on an upright piano. You just have an approximation of it, but here you have something which I enjoy playing as much as a grand piano. So I'll just play the last two movements of this work. cut the resonant short at the end there, but I hope that demonstrates, if you can see well enough, especially at the beginning where I'm starting with a soft pedal for a softer dynamic, releasing it slowly. Now the bass just opens up. Personally, this isn't something I've experienced with an upright piano, but the fact that this is so close to a grand piano, and as I mentioned, it's not just the superficial elements of the action, the piano action, or the size of the frame. For me, the test is, does it feel like one when I'm playing it? And that is the immediate response. If it doesn't feel like a grand piano when I'm playing it, then I'm immediately in conflict with the instrument and what I believe it can do. But the fact that this does, I'm constantly being surprised by what it does. And it's a joy to play composed music on it, and it allows you to think about things like subtleties such as articulation, and in every single register, what can I bring out, what can I pronounce, or what is the piano very, very powerful at that I need to control. So in that sense, I think it's an excellent replacement for a grand piano. It's playable as a grand piano, it gives a whole total music experience and allows you still to work at a very, very high level musically and to go beyond that. Certainly, much more than the average grand piano. I would happily recommend it to any professional musicians of advanced levels as well. It's a joy to play.